Good evening and good day to everybody out in the digital world. This is Damien Marciniak from Com 500, and this is my final presentation for Module 9. The topic of my choosing is mobile technology and education. We as citizens live in a state of modernity where technology is the backbone of society on all grounds. To quickly stand back and ponder a moment of how technology has revolutionized itself in such a short period of time is nothing less than extraordinary. And it seems as time continues to tick, new, faster, and more innovative adaptations to society is being integrated. The next big thing is already yesterday's news before it's time to sit down for dinner. That's how quickly technology is evolving and how the digital world is expanding. The only thing we as civilians of this remarkable evolution can do is sit back and enjoy the ride. With that being said, it is as if today's world technology has become a codependent of the breathing process. We can't live without our smartphones, tablets, and other digital devices. Heaven forbid if a cell phone dies or Wi-Fi connection is lost. The global society is officially addicted to technology and there is no going back. A cure for this addiction is completely irrelevant. Mainly, we are glued to our iPhones, Blackberries, Androids, and so forth. Mobile technology is the now factor, and it's not going anywhere for a long time. With regards to that, is mobile technology detrimental within the educational process, or, when used to its fullest potential, is it effective, advantageous, and even favorable within the classroom settings? With the upbringing of the past few generations, technology has been integrated within our daily lives. Kids are growing up digitally now. Families own tablets and other handheld devices that toddlers figure out how to use before they can even walk. It's quite remarkable. Almost every teenager walks around with a smartphone, and it's nearly impossible to sit in class or at work without pulling out your handheld to check Facebook, tweet, or Instagram something going on around you. Teachers threaten to take away phones if caught interacting in class, but students live life on the wild side and disregard what instructors command. In U.S. high schools, 98% of students have access to some kind of smartphone, according to a report by Blackboard and Project Tomorrow. So why continue fighting it? A recent report by Nielsen states that tablets are proving to be an interactive learning tool for kids with tablet-owning families, with 57% of children using educational apps and 77% playing downloading games. While 77% play games, the fact that almost 57% study on their iPad is a revelation. Which brings me to my next bullet point, distance learning. Distance education is growing rapidly as a means of teaching and learning in a flexible online environment. Its rapid growth is staggering as only 15% of U.S. households owned a computer in 1990, 23 years ago, and that number rose to nearly 80% by 2008. According to Kent State University, distance learning is learning that takes place when the instructor and student are separated by space and/or time. The gap between the two can be bridged through the use of technology such as video conferencing and other means of online technology. It's exactly what we're doing right now, this very moment in this class. So why can't we incorporate this innovation further within the context and manipulation of our mobile phones and so forth? This leads me to my next slide. Along with the evolutionary progress of technology within the global community comes the adaptation and integration of education. Society has gradually evolved from a traditional method of education to that of distance learning. As distance education increasingly becomes a vital part of higher education, is this process in fact better, worse, or even as good as traditional education? Distance learning brings many benefits to the distance educational experience. One example is that it can be used for independent and collaborative learning experiences. Distance learning helps learners to overcome the digital divide, along with making learning informal. It helps learners to be more focused for longer periods of time, and other benefits include the provision of course content to off-campus students, the provision of student support services to off-campus students, student-to-student interactivity, and student-to-tutor and institution interactivity. Mobile learning addresses equitable use, flexible use, simple and intuitive interfaces, perceptible information, tolerance for error, low physical and technical effort, community of learners and support, and an instructional climate. However, some may disagree that there is no comparison to face-to-face traditional education. A physical environment is the best way to incorporate learning. It has been the process for so many years, so why stop now? Though rather old, I came across a 2008 finalized study that shows the results of distance education versus traditional learning within a college course. Results showed that freshman students were more successful within a face-to-face environment as opposed to distance learning. However, according to the diagram, an upward shift is somewhat noticed from class to class with the exceptions of the sophomores. One can conclude that with distance learning comes the ability and trait of maturity to adapt. Older students have experience that allows them to integrate time management and so forth. I believe that over the past 5 years, society has become more adaptive to the distance learning process. However, is the time now to instill this type of learning process to the fullest within our educational institutions? We already check our school emails, updated grades, Blackboard, Moodle, and other academic databases on our smartphones daily. So why not involve and integrate coursework within our handhelds? Or are we not at the level of maturity and experience as students, instructors, and members of society to adapt to that specific integration? What do you guys think? I will leave you with one last diagram, courtesy of PBS, to ponder on what we have currently encountered within our educational process and what could possibly be in store for the future. Thank you.